Hey everybody, how you doing? I bought this Toyota Hilux here off Facebook Marketplace. I paid $9,000 for it. Was that too much or was it too little? Well, according to the comments, it was both. I actually think this car is near perfection. Automotive peak, top of the mountain. Now, of course, this is the world's best four-wheel driving channel. I know what you're saying. It's only two-wheel drive. We do those as well. But I think the exterior of this car is actually design perfection. I think the paint looks great. I think the wheels are magnificent. And underneath here, this is where the real joy is. This is the 18R engine. It's a 2-litre engine. Later on, it came out with filthy fuel injection, but not this one. Nope. This one's carby, which is why I'm so excited to work on this, because what do I know about carbies? Zero. So this car is basically going to be a very short university degree on how to work on nuggets like this. Now, this particular car, an RN41, I think they call it. Is it an RN41? I don't know. They made it between 1978 and 1982, and I was also made in 1978. You know what that means? We're both old, and we're both flogged, and we're both in need of a makeover. So I got online, I went on Supercheap Auto's new special order service where there are over 1 million products available, stuff that you won't find in store, and I got a bunch of stuff so we can fix this. Now, the biggest issue is that it is old and it is flogged, so the suspension components are completely clapped out, and the motor itself is leaking oil out of every hole. Something else that this car and myself also have in common. I want to actually enjoy this car. I want to make it good. I'm not going to stick an LS in it. I'm not turbocharging it. I'm not doing some dumb YouTube shit. I actually want the car to drive well, and I want it to have the essence, the purity of what the spirit of this car was intended to be, which is utilitarianism, tough. I want it to be reliable. And then I want to enjoy it for a while and then send it back out into the ocean, send it back out into the wild better than how I found it. So that is exactly what I'm going to do on these episodes of Mighty Car Mods. Come and hang with me. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to work it out, and I'm going to work it out with you. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. I'm very excited to get working on this Hilux because, of course, this car is going to be appearing on a television screen very soon for the Supercheap Auto Best Performing Oils campaign. Now, speaking of which, come with me for a second. I want to show you how I actually managed to get all of the parts for this car. So on the Supercheap Auto website, you can go to special orders and there's a garage there where you can put in the details of your car. So mine has got my Toyota Hilux there, 2 litres. And as you can see, there are 805 results of parts that are meant to fix my car. So you can go down here, you can see there's extreme performance clutches. There's all the different bits and pieces available. So that is how I actually went through and got all the different things that I need to fix this car. Now I'm going to put it up on the hoist and show you what's going underneath because this thing is wet and disgusting, and then I'm going to run you through what we're going to do to try and fix it. It's worth stating, of course, the car is 47 years old. It's almost 50 years old, so a lot of what you're going to see under here is completely thrashed. It's obviously had a hard life, and these cars are meant for doing hard jobs. That's what Hiluxes are known for. The most obvious thing you can see down here is what appears to be a significant number of oil leaks. You can see this one here. Looks like it's coming from the oil filter housing, but there's also an oil leak up above it and in front of it. The sump itself appears to be leaking, and this is still fresh and oily underneath there. All of the rubbers, all of the bushings under here are completely perished. And we can also see that there's something on the back of the brakes. They are covered, absolutely covered in all this crud. And when we took it for a test drive, putting the brakes on, one of them locked up. So clearly something there is seized, so that there needs to be done. Engine mounts completely flogged, that needs to be done. We need to change the clutch, which means we need to remove the gearbox. There's also oil leaking out of here where the shifter is. Gearbox mounts completely thrashed as well. There is an exhaust leak up here, so we've got to attend to that. Look at the handbrake adjustment over here. This is the tail shaft center bearing. The rubbers on this are completely perished, so who knows what kind of stuff is in there. We don't know what state that bearing is in. Heading down to the back, We're actually going to leave the leaf springs, but we're going to change the leaf spring bushings in there, so kind of update those rubbers, try and make it a bit nicer to drive. It looks like this may have had some rear shocks at some point, but we're going to replace them anyway. The rear brakes are in a really sorry state, so we also need to kind of give them a rebuild and an update so that they actually do their job, which is braking the car. Now, believe it or not, I know you're looking under here and it just looks like everything is thrashed and rusty. It is, but this here is a good one. This is the cheapest one you can currently buy in the country. Up from here, you're looking at $15,000, some are $45,000. This is a cool car to some people. I think it's cool, but it needs a whole lot of work. And I am going to make things a little bit harder for myself because I've decided to try and modify this one in a slightly different way. I'm going to only use technology that was available when this car came out to work on the car. So basically, that means hand tools. When it comes to the tools for this project, I'm going to be diving deep into the Tool Pro tool chest here. This stuff is all from Supercheap Auto. Now, why don't I want to use power tools? Well, obviously there were some power tools available in the 70s, and I mean air tools. We're set up for that as well, and air tools have been around since the 1800s. I just thought it'd be nice for this particular project to get a real kinesthetic, analog, pure feel for working on a car, a bit of a sense of how it may have been in the late 70s. Am I making it harder for myself? Absolutely. Is it going to be more fun? Absolutely not. Is it going to be somehow worth it? I have no idea. We're going to find out soon. But to make it a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to do a little bit of prep work in there. So I'm going to be using some CRC. This is the 556 multi-purpose toolkit in a can as a penetrant. So I'll basically go through and spray everything that, I think I'm going to take off at the start. Spray, 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 spray. Let that soak in a bit. Obviously CRC brake clean, we'll be using a lot of that. Carb in a can. This here means that you can actually clean your carby without disassembling it. I don't know if we're going to be doing that or if we're just going to be replacing it with a new one. We will see. And lastly, this is CRC's rust converter. So this instantly neutralizes rust. You basically spray it on, stops the rust and turns into a nice black primer so you can paint over the top of it as well. So for starters, I'm getting the 556. We're going to pull the wheels off. I'll use no power tools. It's going to be fun. Let's get to it. When you're working on a more modern car like a GTI, BRZ or a Rexy, you can pretty much get straight into the mods and just start sticking the tools in. But with a car of this vintage, it's going to need a bit more time and tenderness to loosen up a bit so that we don't break stuff. So slow, isn't it? Just to take a wheel off takes so much longer. Yes, power tools are the best, and I am regretting it already, but I'm going to commit to the process. And anyone that comes to help with this car, I'm going to make them commit to it too. This is the sound that you want to hear that you normally don't hear when you're using power tools. That nice crack. Yes. See, normally you're just getting, so you don't get that delightful snap. Ah, I'm liking it right now. I'll check in again in a few hours and see if I'm still loving it or not. Oh, nothing on that one. Should have used a power tool. It's just occurred to me, did they have ratcheting spanners in the 70s? And if they didn't, am I allowed to use them or not? I'm going to keep using them. Ratcheting spanners first showed up around the 1920s and changed the game for mechanics, but it was around 50 years before that that a ratcheting wrench first had a patent taken out. Now, instead of lifting and repositioning a wrench over and over, you could just keep spinning it like a DJ in a beater on a 4-day bender, way faster and way easier to remove bolts in tight spaces. Since then, they've gotten all kinds of upgrades like reversible switches and flex heads, and if you don't have a set yet, go and buy some right now. Have you ever seen that YouTube video where it's a physics experiment and he does this and then he goes, ah! Now, speaking of physics, do you know what makes wrenches even better? When they've got a battery plugged into them and they've got a freaking motor, but I'm not allowed to use them, am I? So it looks like at some point in time, these have actually been replaced because those ones there do not look like they're almost 50 years old, but strangely, they've only replaced these ones at the back. The ones at the front are completely flogged. So those ones there are going to be going in the bin, and we'll replace that with some brand new white line polyurethane bushes. These ones here will just be able to grease up and slide straight in. The ones on the front though, we're going to have to go over to the press and push them out. Now, to get a better understanding of the environment in which this Hilux was created, you've got to look back at what was happening in the 1970s. This was a time that music was funky, people ate fondue, and there were still cigarette ads on TV. A phenomenon that clearly influenced a previous owner of this car. No, I'm not using a power tool, calm down, I just need a wire brush, and this is all I've got. Now, people in the 70s also legitimately believed that the Ice Age was coming. And no, I'm not talking about the 2002 animated film. People actually believed the world would end in a storm of catastrophic ice. They also believed in mind reading and spanking. It was a weird time, but they designed this Hilux, and for that, I'm thankful. Now, of course, these vehicles were created to carry around heaps of stuff, and if you want to carry around heaps of stuff, check out the Mighty Car Mods Backpack. We wanted a backpack that was strong, functional, and affordable, so we decided to make our own. This is the Mighty Car Mods Tactical Laptop Backpack. It is absolutely loaded full of compartments for all of your loot, plus a dedicated laptop area for sizes up to 16 inches. The back is padded with 3D mesh, a soft-lined phone compartment, adjustable chest strap, padded shoulder straps, and reinforced side straps. The bag is super strong and durable, and you can carry heaps of weight. In fact, that handle is so strong we tested it by towing a car with it. Don't actually tow your car with your backpack. If you need to do that, grab one of our tow straps. It also includes a bottle holder, built-in key clip, a carabiner for attaching a water bottle, hat, speaker, or accessories. Speaking of water, the exterior of this bag is waterproof polyester 600D, made of PVC, which is going to keep all of your loot nice and dry inside. And a free Mighty Car Mods Velcro spanner patch. You can also grab some of our Mighty Car Mods polarized sunglasses. These are made out of TR90 plastic titanium. They've got little chopped decals on the side and come in their own case. Plus, we've got our steel dual wall insulated water bottles, and a lot of people like to complement their backpack with a little red key tag like this, put it on the zip and make it easy to grab. But the best part of all of this, people, is the price. These are only $89 Australian, which is around $59 US. We're talking under 60 bucks. Plus, we can ship this to your door anywhere in the world. It's available right now at mightycarmods.com. Let's get back into the Hilux. So I already installed this end, but then couldn't get the other end in. So then put that end in, and now I'm trying to put this end in. I really should have probably done a bit of research on how you do stuff like this, but I didn't, because no good reason actually. I just thought it'd be more of an adventure to descend it. But anyway, that is one side done, 1/4 even. It all took longer than expected. It was heavier, dirtier, and just more annoying than expected, but jobs that need to be done. So I'm going to tighten that up, then move on to the other side. And then I'm definitely calling in some reinforcements. Luckily, I've got some friends that like old shit cars. And so I'm going to give them a call and say, I got a car, it's old and it's shit. And I reckon they will be excited to come down and give me a hand. People, the suspension on the rear of this Hilux is in. It's red, it looks excellent. Next up, I'm just going to start pulling the rear brakes apart. Now, not something I've got lots of experience with, but I'm just going to have a go because we're here. And the first of my backup crew has arrived. I was thinking to myself, who do I know that likes utter old, redundant, old shit? And I'm not talking about myself. Hey Ian, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. This warms the cockles of my heart and slightly below the cockles as well.
You may have seen Ian's build that we have documented in some detail, your Pontiac Bonneville 64?
64, yep.
64. There's a whole video that we did on that, absolutely incredible. But you like old rusty shit, don't you?
Oh yes. Yes.
Why do you like old rusty shit? I mean, you know that I do, but why do you like it?
Primarily brain damage. Second of all, I think there's a lot to be said for like saving something. There's no reason why you need to. You got some stuff here that's got a bit of surface rust on it, but they're still good. You can clean that up. You don't have to throw it out. You don't have
Clean
to
it
bolt.
up?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I wasn't even going to go that far.
Well, I mean, you know, we've got to get this car done or we're going to lose the shop, right?
We do live in an age where it's throw away everything. Throw away your toaster, throw away your shoes when they still work.
They're still good.
They're still good. I reckon if something works and you can keep it working for longer, there's a bit of a philosophical statement in that. Don't just dump things in the bin straight away, even if they're people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy to give up on stuff, but I think that like you understand a lot more about a thing if you take the time and the effort to rebuild it and put some time and some effort into it. And I think it actually, for me, when you go in and you restore something and you make it work again, it kind of feeds the soul. You know, you've not given up on a thing.
I like that. What are you not giving up on at the moment? Have you bought some more shit?
I've got BMWs.
Oh,
my crack cocaine is 80s BMWs. I cannot give them up. So I've got 2 E30 Beamers and an E34 5 Series, and one of them is probably the worst E30 in the world.
Right.
There is no firewall, there is no floor left, the whole rear of the car behind the windscreen's completely rusted off.
It's shocking that I didn't get to it before you did in that case, if it's that bad.
Maybe.
For new players, by the way, Ian, he's been a long-time friend of the show, has been friends with Marty since before Mighty Car Mods existed, because you're one of the Subaru Liberty Legacy crowd, right? From back in the day, from the RS Liberty Forum.
RS Liberty Forums, yeah.
Which was a long time ago. Ian is also an acclaimed author. He is the co-author of the Mighty Car Mods book. If you get the Mighty Car Mods emails and blogs that come out every week, if not, there's a link down below. Ian is writing those. A long history in magazines, a long history in journalism, and has been a long-time friend of the show. Anyway, I called him down because this car's rusty and shit, and I was like, who likes rusty shit stuff? That's Ian, and I like Ian. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Muy bueno.
We're about to pull the rear drums apart. What do you know about that?
Look, drum brakes are dependable. They're full of springs and magic and wizardry, and sometimes, if you're lucky, even a redback spider or two.
Great. All right, well, let's dive in. So how are you with the no using power tools philosophy that we are going to try and stick by with this build, mate?
I'm fine with it. You know, I live in an apartment building, so one, I can't use power tools at home, and also, like modern battery power tools, I predate them for a lot of working on my old rusty junk. So there's comfort in going back to the ways of the forefathers.
It is slow though.
Oh yeah.
Like right now, I would have put something on here and just gone, and it'd be done.
And when you're doing body mounts and stuff like that, and like big suspension bolts, you get sore when you're hanging off a big breaker bar all day, and you've got to put all that torque into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything takes longer, and it's way harder on your body as well.
Gives you real appreciation for the guys who used to, and the women who used to work on this stuff day in, day out, you know, just in little unair conditioned shops.
Yeah.
Or the driveway mechanics who didn't even have hoists and stuff like.
And it feels like as well, because you can almost imagine what it would have been like in the early 80s when you've got your little backyard workshop in your little country town. This is the kind of work that you would be doing. Yep. You would be just fixing up people's suspension on their old shitty Hiluxes.
People would have been, that's dragging
We're right, we're cocked.
Yeah, that's dragging a shoe, I reckon. So, okay, this is not one of the ones where you can adjust it externally. A trick with some of these drums when they're getting caught up like this is that some of them have an open adjuster in the back, or an adjuster in the back, and you just back the shoes right off so that basically they pull all the way in.
Yep.
And then you can literally just slip the drum straight off.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, this isn't the case here.
I don't know if I'm breaking the rules with ratcheting spanners, because I don't reckon these were around in the late 70s.
I reckon they probably would have been professionally in some form.
That'll do then.
They had air tools in the 40s. So
they had air tools in 1829.
Yeah, true, actually.
Like crazy, like building boats with them and stuff. We are set up for air tools here. For some reason, I've decided not to use them.
But we can use hammers
to hit things, and pry bars, which we're going to be using a lot of over the coming days because the more we pull it apart, the more we realise this car is flogged. Ian, I don't know about you, but to me this looks old and flogged.
Decrepit. Is the word that I'd use. These are all wear parts in here, so your wheel cylinder will actually push out on the shoes, and these surfaces here, that's your brake pads that will then push on the drum.
Yeah.
Which is why, and when you see people, like, they'll talk about how drums overheat when you use them 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, like down a big hill. It's because the pads put so much heat into the drum itself, everything gets heat soaked.
Huge amount of surface area though with drum brakes.
Huge amount. That's why
normal calipers.
The first stop, drum brakes, yes, they will work better on an emergency stop in the first instance.
What about the 35th stop, Ian?
Yeah, they've already gone to Mexico by that stage. Yeah. They're drinking margaritas on a beach. But the wheel cylinders are it's really important to keep your drum brakes properly tightened and aligned, because then it makes it easy.
Which these were not.
These were not. These were, the housing dragged the whole way off. The wheel cylinders are a wear item, and you can see yours are leaking here, and there's like...
Ours. It's ours now.
I'll call it ours when it's got like a twin carb 18RG and some sick wheels and it's slammed on the ground. These just, they leak over time, and they are a consumable part. They're cheap to replace. And so
I have replacements.
I think we definitely should be...
Right here.
I think we definitely should be whacking a new one in, and maybe we'll chuck some new shoes on and just have a look at how everything's going, give it a good clean in there.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, like, it's just all the material from your pads ends up floating around in here, so it's real dusty and yucky.
Yeah.
And
we just need to make this work so that when we're doing carby things and trying to make some more NA power, we have the stopping power. Once we finish this, obviously we're going to be moving on to the front, and then we got to drop the gearbox.
Oh, cool.
On our Hilux.
But you know what? It's infinitely easier than doing it on a turbo Subaru, so I'm here for you.
The first thing we need to do is see what it is that we're working with. So we're giving it all a quick blast with CRC brake cleaner so we can see which parts we keep and which parts need to go in the bin. Drum brakes really are the automotive equivalent of being on a spam list. Annoying, noisy, and they just won't stop. If you're heading west from Sydney and you start putting your brakes on in Blacktown, you'd be lucky if you stop by Penrith. And that's not lucky at all. They're about as useless as an indicator on a BMW. Drum brakes are a fiddly mess of springs and dust, like a nightmarish mousetrap of disappointment. Oh, and look, it's about to get even worse. So we have pulled apart the brakes on both sides of this car. Here's the fun part. They're different. This side looks like this. The other side doesn't look like this. It looks different. And so we have decided to replace all of that stuff, but we don't know if we buy a kit. Obviously it comes in 2 bits. One of them may be right, one of them may be incorrect. So Ian, what are we going to do?
Well, we're going to accept this. It's not a setback, it's a sparkling stitch up, because if it was a setback it would come in a French car. This is just part and parcel of working with old cars. So the normal thing you do is you take both sides to the parts shop, the specialty parts shop, and you put them on the counter and you say...
Which one's right?
Yeah, you're going to say which one looks like the schematic on the system for a 1979 Hilux.
Yeah.
Because the thing with a lot of these old cars is, particularly old commercial vehicles, you can have, like, this might be the right brake for a long bed single cab. The one on the other side might be the right one for a dual cab short tray.
Yeah. Compatible but different.
They're just old cheap cars for so many years, and people they just needed a brake on one side maybe, and so they just put whatever on.
Ian, how do you respond to this statement? They don't make cars like they used to.
Damn good reason for that. That's why my 1964 car now has electric air conditioning and a Haltech and a late model supercharged engine. Like, old cars have their charm.
Yeah, but this is a mess.
Well, you can't really have 2 different braking systems on 2 different sides. Like, we could spend days just adjusting the brakes right so that when you hit the brake pedal, when a wombat runs out in front of you and you're busy eating your delicious tofu kebab...
Yeah, your delectable Chinese meal.
When you're enjoying your succulent Chinese meal as you plough down the road at 50 k's an hour, you need to know that your brakes aren't going to lock one wheel, or they're not going to play silly buggers in some way.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because that's currently what it does. Yeah, anyway, so we're going to leave that for now until we do some research. And speaking of how much we love old cars, we're moving on to the front. You thought this was a mess? Up there, it's horrific. It is a mechanical travesty up there.
It's just different. It's a thing like if you're used to listening to electronic music and the first time someone puts Cannibal Corpse on, it's shocking, and
Yes.
you would think that it is the most vile, assaulting thing you can be listening to.
Yet Hammer Smashed Face is a classic song, and the opening bum 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 bada bum 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 bada bum 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 bada. That's enough to turn anyone off electronic music forever.
There is beauty in everything. You just need to look for it.
Yes.
And the same is true with steering boxes and drag links and idler arms and pitman arms and things like that. So we should probably go have a look at that and pull it out, and we can explain to everyone who grew up with steering racks and good engineering what this ancient.
Oh, because there
awesome
is no steering rack.
No, this is it. You've got linkages and you've got inner and outer tie rods.
I'm
pitman
so
arms.
excited. All right, let's. It's probably going to take a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw on some cool music. There we go. And let's just drop it. I can't remove this. Before I do start hitting it with hammers, can you explain to me how this works?
Well, this is your steering box. So your steering column comes down, turns the steering box, and it turns the arm here, which connects, like you can see here, the drag link, which is also sometimes called your center link. Well, off that, you've got your tie rods that actually turn the wheels. So as you're turning the steering box, this arm actually takes all the force. It's on a splined. There's a spline section in there,
Oh, yeah,
and you can see how much free play. You can the idler arm on the other side is actually disconnected, but there's a lot of free play in all these ball joints, and this is why, like when you go to a steering rack, you've only got the tie rods that go to the outside. This has all these different links, and that's why old cars sometimes they steer a bit woolly and vague and funny. This is what they're dealing with.
Yeah,
You've got all these linkages to turn, and all these bushes to accept that energy. This probably hasn't been off since Abraham Lincoln was a child.
Yeah, so the problem is I've been doing the normal things. I've been bashing it with a hammer. I put a pry bar in there. I can't get it off. So we're going to try something else. I have got some CRC freeze spray. This is a multi-purpose freezing agent, usually used for kind of electrical and electronic use. But this is basically Elsa in a can.
It's science.
It is science. And so what we're going to do is we're going to try and freeze the spline. So freeze this part here, which should shrink it.
Yes.
And once it's shrunken, then I can keep hitting it with a hammer and try and hopefully dislodge it.
Well, yeah. Well, essentially, all you want is you want the spline section to shrink.
Let it go.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Elsa. Does that make me Anna, or am I more like an Olaf?
No, you're
Or a Sven? I'll be a moose.
You can be the moose.
Yes.
All right, let's freeze this thing. Eventually, with a combination of hammers, fire and ice, we finally got this part off, and that took 2.5 hours. So this is all the garbage that has come out of the front car, and I say garbage because a lot of it is quite literally just dirt and rust. So we're going to replace as much of this as possible. Some of these actual components, of course, we can keep, but we will try and change as many of the rubbers and bushings as we can. Now that that's done, it's time to move on to the performance. Now, what is currently holding us back is there is a lot of oil coming out of the car, so we want to sort that out. We're going to remove the gearbox and we're going to give the carbies a tickle. And to do that, I've got another very special guest. It's my mate, Isaac. Hello, mate.
Hey, bro. How are you?
I'm shocked that you came back, particularly after the Cube.
Oh, mate, you know I'm a glutton for punishment.
I know that. I've called you for a few interesting projects over the years.
I love your calls.
Oh, really?
You do. You know, you never know what you're going to get, but I know there's something going on. Like, there's been times you've been in the middle of nowhere, call me, hey, Isaac, are you free?
I know.
We lost a motorbike. Or, hey, I'm on Top Gear. Or, hey,
Yeah.
I have a shitbox that's broken.
Yes.
Or, hey, what are you doing tomorrow?
And then sometimes you turn up And we've got the moon buggy.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time we did a bunch of stuff
was
together.
fun.
The Jimny adventures have always been fun.
Unbelievable.
And then
One's off camera too. There's been some moments too.
Oh, totally.
Funny moments. Oh, I love it.
It looks great,
I think it's so cool. There's so much character. The round headlights, like, this is sick.
It's great. So the look of it will not change at all. Like, it
good.
won't look any different.
Yeah,
but
good.
let me just bring it down to show you some. Let me bring it down to show you what's happening under the bonnet here.
So cool. It's a Survivor, isn't it?
Back in the day, what would people do to these in terms of mods? Because this is a tradie car from
Oh,
the
yeah,
late 70s. Like,
100%.
what did people do?
Yeah, look, the thing is, there was a few different models. So, like, there's ones that had various emissions and different systems on them to keep up with the time, right? And I think people just threw all that stuff in the bin and they'd, like, upgrade a carburetor, you know, upgrade the ignition system, throw an exhaust on it. Probably similar to what we do now, but it was making them more unique because I think there were so many on the road that, you know, and you see with tradies now, you see every Hilux is modified, Land Cruisers are modified. I think it's the same approach that they did back then. It was just make it unique for them, make it sound interesting, pick up a couple of horsepower while you're there.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys probably like into other sort of vehicles as well. And this would have been their daily. Now we look at this as a project car, but like back then it probably wasn't. This was just their workhorse, but there was heaps of stuff to throw at them, so why not?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Do it. You know I love old shit. It's awesome.
All right. Tell me what you see, Isaac.
Awesome. It looks like an 18R, I think.
It's clean, hey? Like, generally the engine bay is clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty honest. Like, they're pretty robust looking 2-litre engine. I mean, standard maybe Asian carburetor. I could be wrong with that, but we'll check. Non-crossflow head, so they were just like pretty cheap to manufacture at the time, obviously, and no real performance construction in mind. It was just sort of like, how do you get it done and get it made as quick as possible? Iron head, iron block. I mean, it'd be a strong thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these are in everything. Like there's Coronas, probably forklifts. Like
they're in heaps of stuff.
Heaps of stuff.
And then I think they after this they introduced introduced a fuel injected model as well.
Yeah, right.
12R.
The RG was a twin cam, I believe, that had Webers, but there was a fuel injected model of this.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if the Corona got it or a Cressida or something. I don't know. That could be a Benny question because he's a Toyota expert. But these are solid, man, and it's all pretty straightforward.
I do have some pretty exciting plans for it. Like after this, like at the moment, I just want it to work in this format.
Sure.
But I think at some point in this thing's future, I'm seeing maybe some significant engine swappage.
Fantastic.
And I've got a pretty cool idea for it. But for the meantime, I just want to embrace its purity, minus all the oil leaks. Now, the leaks look like they're coming out of the
oil filter
housing there, but then there's
also
oil above it and in front of it as well.
Yeah, this actually isn't that bad. Like you can see that it's not really wet, dripping oil. This is just accumulated over time. So the thing is with older engines, with cork gaskets and fibre gaskets on various components of the motor, is they sweat over time.
Yeah, okay.
So you're looking at it as it might be a big deal because we're used to looking at newer engines, but it's actually not that big of a deal.
Okay.
You would clean this and change some gaskets and we would get pretty close to an engine that's clean.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And the thing is that the iron too, like it does actually take on a lot of that oil and looks worse than it is. So.
Okay, so maybe just give it a proper clean up.
Give it a clean, but I reckon if we get oil filter housing gasket, fuel pump housing gasket, that's going to get us close. There's also a galley here that has a cork gasket.
Yeah.
So we might swap him out if possible as well, but we kind of got to tread carefully with iron block stuff because we don't want to be breaking fasteners and things. Like it could be a whole day with a broken bolt, so we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Rocker cover gasket, of course, looks like it's been done recently. See how dry it is?
Yes.
But at the back of the motor, it's wet, so I reckon it's probably leaking up the back here. Which is like there's like a semicircle rubber gasket up there, which seems like it's a little bit wet. But this isn't bad. This is just accumulated filth. Someone liked this. I mean,
accumulated filth, but enough about my car collection.
Yeah.
What about this?
The Hilux is great as well. Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
So first job,
sure.
Shall we just, because we want to do the clutch, should we just do the gearbox first? Like just get that big, heavy, dirty thing out of the way.
It's a big ticket item. Let's
and
get it
then once
way.
that's done, then focus on cleaning this stuff up?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if possible, could we like maybe add a few things to this too? I mean, if this was me in the day, I would be doing exactly what I talked about, which is I'd probably throw a carby at it.
Yeah, we're doing a cubby.
Yeah,
Yes,
rad. You know, this sort of thing where people have just thrown a breather on the PCV valve, like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. For people, this was a modification, you know.
That's a mod?
Yeah, like I'm just
some
gonna
people
put
in a performance air filter though and say they've modified their car.
Exactly,
So,
yeah. But it was probably fun for these guys who were just thrashing these things all week long working. Like on a weekend, if they could throw some fun parts at it and make their trip to work better each week, I'm sure they were just doing it because it was cheap. You go to your local store and they would have all this stuff on the shelf.
Yeah, nice.
You know?
Well, I can't wait to apprentice with you around some carby stuff. Because
so
carbies
keen.
is what gets you excited,
Oh,
isn't
it totally does. I get so nerdy about it, like turns on my proper carbietism. But I just love ripping stuff apart. Do you remember the moon buggy?
Oh, yeah,
I have 2 carburetors and everything's ripped apart on the bench and you're looking at me like he's not getting it back together.
You were loving it, dude.
And I'm in my element.
Yeah.
That is actually my element. And with my work, same guitar things, I rip things into 1,000 pieces and that's my happy place.
Yeah, great.
So no different with this. I'm not messing with this guy. I just want to change it.
Cool. So just literally take that off, throw it in the bin,
Yep.
and then we have a replacement for that, which we
Yeah,
can go
totally.
through. So for now then, let's go up
Yeah, rad.
and gearbox off.
Yeah, sick. Time to get dirty.
So people, remember the year is 1978, this car's just come out, and as such, you need to use some diabolically clever ways of getting things done. So over here, because we're about to remove the gearbox, that of course is connected to the motor. The motor will be held in place with this square tube. That's got a strap that's going around it. What is stopping that from sliding forward? Well, of course, a couple of Mighty Car Mods fender covers, a couple of rags, and an old seat belt that is holding it around the bonnet here. But then what is stopping that from falling down? That's this, my friends. This here is what is getting the job done. Who's excited to be back in the 70s?
I am.
While removing the gearbox has the primary purpose of replacing the clutch, it also gives us access to a number of other associated parts that need to be replaced, like gearbox mounts and the tail shaft center bearing. So I'm just removing the center console, and unlike modern cars, there is nothing connected to it. There was 3 10mm and then it's gone, so it's nice and quick. And then I'm just trying to get to the shifter housing.
Yeah, I think when the shifter goes into the top of the gearbox, it's just like a selector housing.
But basically, you can't get to it from underneath, so we're trying to get to it from here.
Yep.
Is there 1 or 2 more bolts in there, Isaac?
There may be 4 more. It's hard to tell with all the gunk that's on there. But if that's out of the way, we've probably got enough real estate to move the gearbox back.
And everything appears to be like 12.5mm, which is 12mm for the bolt and 0.5mm of 50 years worth of crap. All right, so we've removed a bunch of interior bits, which gave us access to take off that. And now we're hoping that with a little pry, oh, I think it's come off, mate.
It's come off a little bit further back. What's holding us up, mate?
You need to go up a bit.
Yeah, I can go up.
Yeah, give it a little,
Limited on
a little foot.
real estate. It's about as far as I can go.
And can we come forward still?
No, I have to come down.
Yeah, okay.
Watch hands. Oh, I'm so not an expert at things on hoists.
There's some people out there that have been working on these cars since the late 70s that are like, didn't you know you've got a something? We don't know.
No.
We don't know what we're doing.
Honestly,
I mean,
we don't.
well, Isaac kind of does.
Not with these Hiluxes,
Yeah,
though,
but
surprisingly.
with all things mechanical, you do.
I'm good at like carby things, that's for sure.
Well, we'll be getting onto that soon.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun.
Eventually, after a bit more of a gentle dance and a not so gentle dance, the Hilux finally gave up its gearbox. Oh man,
That was a little bit of a fight.
what a job.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert at hoist things.
Full respect to anyone who in the 70s, early 80s was doing this for a job.
Dude.
I'm sure there's tips and tricks to it, but that's taken 2 of us, what, 2 hours?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Like, that's-
it's definitely not an easy one. Not for me anyway.
Well, I think also, at least back then, it would have been a new car.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's taking us 20 minutes to undo one bolt because there's so much rust and so much crud and so much stuff all over it that we can't even get tools on it. So
Yeah.
anyway, now that's done, let's talk about clutch things. Your clutch is the mechanical link between your foot and the wheels. Press the pedal and it disengages the engine so you can change gears. Then release it quickly, and as it reconnects, it transfers power, and now you're a Falcon owner doing a skid. It's all about timing and friction, which is probably how most of us were made. So this here is the clutch that we just pulled out of it. Now, obviously that has still got a little bit of life left into it, but it has been changed at some point. This one here, it says made in Korea, so I definitely don't think that was an original. So that there is going to go in the bin, as is the clutch cover. The flywheel over here, we're going to get that machined. As you can see, that's got some kind of heat spots and stuff on it. And then we're going to be fully upgrading our clutch with an extreme performance clutch. No doubt you've seen these clutches going into our cars over the years. This was sent over to us from Australian Clutch Services, who have come on board as official sponsors of Mighty Car Mods. And not only that, you can order these clutches through the Supercheap Auto Special Orders service online, which is pretty exciting. So we're going to be replacing all of that. And then next episode, we've got another special guest. Isaac's going to be back. Ian's going to be back, plus more special guests. But in the meantime, we're going to send that off, get that fixed up, and then the Hilux will continue. And of course, don't forget, you will be seeing this car very soon on a television near you as part of the Supercheap Auto Best Performing Oils campaign of 2025. So keep your eye out for it. Lots of cool stuff going on there. And yeah, see you next time on another episode of Mighty Car Mods. Isaac, come on in. Thank you. Thanks for coming down.
Anytime. Mate, that was great.
And next up, your specialty.
Oh, thank God.
Carby things.
Mate.
How excited are you out of 10?
Put EFI in the bin and give me a carby back. I want to put a carby on my new hybrid Civic. Get EFI.